Hello, beautiful people, and thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode of Dating with Purpose. I'm your guest host, CARRINGTON, and on today's episode, I have the privilege of interviewing Tish and Trey Christak. But before we get into the interview, I wanted to remind you guys that Ashley's upcoming masterclass, The Dating Algorithm, is coming up fast and filling up fast as well. So you want to be sure to click the link in the description box below so that you can reserve your spot, because even though it's a free masterclass and registration costs you nothing, it's filling up fast. So if you don't want to miss out on your opportunity to get this phenomenal information where Ashley is giving you the 3 keys to attracting marriage-minded men without any prospects in sight, click the link in the description box now to hold your spot so you don't miss out. Now let's get to the interview. How we doing, y'all?
We're great. Thank you for having us.
Honored to be here.
Yes, I'm so excited.
No problem. So excited that you guys are going to be on here, and super excited to hear all this wisdom y'all about to share. All right, so let's get it popping. First things first, if y'all could just take a second, but just tell us a little bit about you guys' background. How did y'all meet? Who shot the shot first? Who bumped into who? Like, tell us the background of you guys and your story.
So I'm Tish, and this is my husband, Trey. And we actually met in college at Austin Peay State University. We met my sophomore year, his junior year. And it was so crazy how we met, because we were there all the time, never bumped into each other, never passed each other. But he actually slid in my DMs. He slid in my DMs on Instagram.
It kind of was like a hybrid type of thing. So it was kind of online and then also in person too.
Yeah, then he came and saw me in person after you slid in my DMs.
Right.
Got you. So you slid the DMs, then you went to go find.
Right.
Got you. I'm with it. So when we talk about sliding the DMs, what did that look like? Because in the age we're in right now, everything is going on online. So online dating, Instagram, Facebook, people in the DMs. So Trey, what did it look like for you to slide in her DMs?
So really, it was kind of the thing of where on Instagram, she liked a couple of my pictures, and I kind of was already scoping it out because around that time, she was crossing into AKA. Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. And so we kind of got to know each other by they put us all in a group me. And so she was like liking all the stuff that I sent in the group and also liking a few of my pictures. So I just slid in a DM like, hey, how you doing?
No, you slid in my DM with the hard eyes. Oh. That's all he put.
Really? Hit him with the hard eyes. I love it. Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that. So you slid in a DMs, Trey, then you called her in public. And so how did that first interaction go between you guys?
So I called her in public it was Mega Sci-Fi probate.
Okay.
And so I came up to her, and it was like a group of them, all her sisters and everything. And I kind of slid it in there and didn't want to make it look too obvious type of thing, and just asked her like for some gum, or asked them for some gum, and then kind of like that's how it started, the interaction.
But no. That was, you did that before you even DM'd me. That was you DM'd me that night after you saw me at the purpose.
Okay, see, that's where I said it was like a hybrid type of.
But yeah.
Shouts out to Tish knowing the real story, right? Because Trey ain't getting it right. Awesome. So you met at the show, slid in the DMs, you guys connected. So take us, I guess, through the process of that journey from that is the initial connection, then linking up in the future, dating, engagement, and now marriage.
Yeah. So after he slid in the DM, he came over to one of my line sisters' apartments. Like, we were having like a game night or something like that. So that was a moment where we really got to know each other. We did these different questions. We did like 100 questions.
Her and my line sister. Her line sister stayed below me.
Oh yeah.
In my apartment complex.
That was crazy.
Like right below, directly below. So it was just kind of like a connection where
in proximity. Yeah.
Right. That was so crazy.
Crazy, yeah.
But yeah, he came to the game night, stayed up all night, like to 6 a.m. You had to be at work at like 7 a.m.
the next morning.
Right. So we up asking questions, just talking, know each other. And then after that, we immediately start texting. Like, we started seeing each other more often, and like we saw each other like every single day after that. So, like,
yeah.
But the crazy part is, during that time, I did have a boyfriend. So
Wait a minute now, hold up. So hold up. You had a boyfriend. You at the game night. How much interaction were you and Trey having while you were still in this relationship?
just communication. So
the thing was,
What had happened was, okay.
like, initially when I found out that she had a boyfriend,
Yeah,
I was telling her that we don't need to have like communication like that, because I didn't agree with, like, when I didn't want that to happen to me, basically.
Okay.
Relationship, I wouldn't want my lady talking to another guy. So I was just like, this ain't right. We're not gonna do this. And
but I said that we were just friends, so it was okay.
Okay,
Right.
so pause, hold on. So Trey, you implemented the respect boundary.
Yeah,
You
he
Right.
did.
said, we're not having this. And then Tish came back to you, Trey, and like, no, we gonna have this because we just friends.
Basically.
But funny story happened. What ended up happening is her boyfriend at the time found out about me. And so
Okay.
he everything from her, all of her socials. And
My phone, all of that. But then I talked to him. I'm like, well, we just talk as friends. Like, you could see the messages. It's not nothing like this. So he was like, I'm fine with it. But then he saw Trey in person and he's like, no, I'm not fine with it. So I can't.
He said, no, he ain't no friend. It's something else to that. So let me ask you this, Tish, before y'all continue on. So Trey implemented that boundary and you were like, no, we're just friends. But honestly, let's be real, Tish. When you said, hey, we just friends, we can continue this conversation, was there a piece of you
Yeah.
that was interested on a deeper level than just friends?
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, cool. Look, I just need the people to know the real. Tish. Like, let's just be real. All right, cool. So
yeah, that's true. But I was trying to, so the thing was, the relationship I was in, it was toxic and it was bad anyway. And like I said, I've told
her foot was out.
I
I
was out the door.
She never cut it off completely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically. But I ended up cutting him off though, and we continue with our process.
So you cut that relationship off, continue with the process. How long after that last relationship did you guys like become official?
Broke up with him in like May. We got together in like August. We got together in August.
So 3 months?
3 months.
3 months.
Yeah, but he was already in there anyway, so it don't even matter. That process was expedited. Got it. So 3 months later, got into a relationship. How long did you guys date before you proposed, Trey? Like, how long did you guys date?
We dated
A year.
A year.
Okay, so dated a year, got engaged, and how much time was between engagement to marriage?
That was about
about
another
a year,
year.
about a
and a
year.
half. Yeah.
Okay, got you. So y'all didn't really waste too much time. Y'all said, yo, let's get active, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. So let's go here now, right? So when we talk about dating, when we look at relationships, one of the common influences of how we date, how we do relationships is the environment that we grew up in, right? What we learned from the experiences and the relationships that our parents had. So question for both of you guys, what was like that family dynamic like that you grew up in? Was it single parent? Was it two parent? And whichever one it was, like, was it toxic? Was it a great example? Like, what were the examples of relationships that you guys had growing up and were they good or not?
So I'll go first.
Go ahead.
So in my household, like, I had both parents in my life, but I stayed with my mom and they separated when I was very young. And so they was never married. They was just dating. It was a really, really toxic relationship. Like, it was one of those relationships where they split up, but they didn't really want to split up.
So they're still messing around.
They were still messing around and things like that. And so I seen that growing up, and not really having like my father in the household. It's like a lot of people say, where they don't think about when you got your father in the life, but when you don't have him in the household, it still affects you in some type of way because your father not there, almost the way.
Yeah.
So seeing that, and then also seeing my mom kind of being somewhat of a single mother too, it also affected me in a way. And so just that whole dynamic, it was kind of a messy situation growing up for me.
Got it.
But then, some time went along, my mom eventually found her a husband and then got married. And then my dad also got married a year after that. So
Got it. So what about you, Tish?
I grew up in a 2-parent home. My parents were married. When they had me, they weren't married, but they got married around 25, actually. They got married around like 24, 25. It was a little toxic. It was definitely toxic. It wasn't something that I said, like I took from it of like what I don't want to do and what I do want to do. But I also looked around the other marriages that I saw too, and they were all, I felt like I was just all around kind of toxic relationships. So I just took from, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. I don't want to end up like that, That's how my experience was.
Got it. So you basically learn how to do relationships by being exposed to how not to do it and then saying, yo, I'm going to do the opposite.
Definitely.
Got it. So because both of you guys to an extent grew up in a toxic environment or unstable environment from a relationship perspective, like how did that experience or those experiences affect you guys and y'all relationships? Where did like some of those bad examples and toxic moments from y'all friends, family, parents, like show up in y'all relationships?
Yeah. For me is I guess like not fully understanding how to express my emotions.
Okay.
Just like to yell and, pop off or sometimes not say anything at all, just stay quiet during times of conflict. Cause I started to see my mom, she was like over arguing. So she's just like, I'm not gonna say nothing. You're gonna argue by yourself. So I started to do that too with him sometimes, but he doesn't argue with me. It's like me arguing with him.
What about you, Trey?
So in my household, I grew up, I got an older brother and a younger sister.
Okay.
And so I got most of my relationship type of advice more so from my brother, just watching him and how he did relationships. And then also unintentionally with my mom and just how she kind of went along by dating and just arguments with my dad. Like I kind of, from how they argued, I knew I didn't want to be like them. Yeah. And so I feel like that had an effect on how I do relationships and how I communicate. And then also dating multiple people as well too. So.
Now hold on, when we talk about dating multiple people, are we single or are we in a relationship with multiple people at the same time?
Single sometimes, and then also I was just out there. Just put it like that.
So let's talk about that then. So when you look at that dynamic and perspective of how, hey, I was shown and taught that, yo, like you're supposed to date multiple people at the same time. Was there ever a situation where you were dating Tish or even in a relationship with Tish and you were dating or entertaining somebody else?
So in the very beginning of our relationship, when we were talking, like I was in a headspace that I wasn't ready to be in a relationship. And so that's how that came about. Yeah,
so what was the time period? Like, was it before we made it official or was it after we made it official? We made it official around like August. So yeah.
So it was around that time that we was talking. We weren't official yet, but we was just in the midst of talking.
Got you. So you were interacting with Tish, you were interacting with one or two other people at the same time.
Right.
Got it. So let me ask you this. At the time, did you know that, Tish?
No, I didn't.
Got you. But you found out eventually.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
In premarital. Okay, so you guys engaged in premarital counseling.
Yes, we did.
How was that experience, right? Well, let me ask, not even how was that experience. So with you guys being in premarital counseling and that type of conversation came out, like, how did that like catch you off guard, Tish? Or like, how did that affect you? Finding out that, yo, around the same time he was interacting with me, building with me, something like, how did that affect you?
Yeah, that definitely made me very mad. I really thought about like cutting him off because I'm like, happened is it's new to me. So it's like I'm being, bum rushed with this new information. And the thing that kind of made me the most mad was that I asked him before we did premarital, like, is there anything, let's get it all out. I don't want to get into premarital counseling and, get hit with information.
Yeah.
But that happened. But yeah, that was.
It was hard for me on my side of things because it was more so like I transitioned and was changing away from that time. And so I was myself, you know, I'm gonna take this to the grave with me. Like I don't want to release this information, but premarital counseling really helped me see and realize that it was important for this stuff to come out,
Definitely.
so we could move on from that.
Yeah.
Got it. So let me ask you this now, Tish. So you said he told you that information. You kind of wanted to cut him off in that moment because even though it was an old situation, it was new to you.
Yeah.
What happened, or what was the thought process that made you say, I'm not about to cut this man off. I'm not about to go nowhere. Like, what was that for you? Like, what happened?
First of all, prayer, but secondly, just seeing the growth that he had, just knowing that he's not the same person that he was when we first started talking. He wasn't there yet. Like, yeah. I've seen the progression over the time, and I'm like, I don't think I truly believe that he wouldn't do this again. So I'm like, I'm gonna give him a chance. I'm not gonna cut it off because I did.
So when you told your emotions to chill and you really observed him and thought about just the progress and the progression of him as a man in general, you were like, hey, who he is now is not who he was. So I know he wouldn't even do that before again.
Great.
Awesome. Now let me ask you this, Trey. All right. So as men, one thing that's very challenging for us is communication and being transparent. So majority of men, how you saying, hey, I was like, yo, I'm taking it to the grave. There are a lot of men out here in marriage with kids that are still harboring those secrets. So let me ask you this. One, how hard was it for you to share that? But then two, why do you think it was so important for you to share that with Tish?
It was very hard because, you know, I built up this relationship with her to the point where it was like the trust was really built up. And so kind of throwing something out there that's new that she ain't heard, I knew it was gonna be like super bad for our relationship.
Yeah.
But knowing, like looking at it now, I feel that relief is gone off of me. That strong conviction, you know, deep down in my heart, it's not there no more. Like, it's just like that thing that's just back there in the closet, you know it's there and it's just growing and growing and growing. And so just being able to release it, it really helped me out to get more peace in my life.
Gotcha. And so how has that level of transparency domino affected into the transparency that you guys have in y'all relationships like right now?
Now, yeah. I think that premarital definitely helped with that. Because I promise, I'm like, I don't think we really need counseling like that. I feel like we're good, we honest, transparent. And, you know, just going through that has helped us become more transparent and more honest. We're still working on it though. We had a situation a couple weeks ago. It wasn't nothing too serious, but it's like he immediately lied to me. And I'm like, just tell me the truth because I already know the truth. So we're still working on that transparency. We're still working on that transparency. We're not perfect. We're progressing. But yeah, it has helped be more honest. I feel like I'm just always honest with him regardless. So yeah, we're progressing.
Gotcha. Hey, progress is necessary. And you guys have time to progress because y'all are young, right? So how old are y'all real quick? Let's touch on it. How old are y'all?
I'm 23.
And I'm 24.
Yeah.
Okay, so how long have you guys been married?
We've been married 5 months. I was 22 when we got married, but yeah, 5 months.
Okay, gotcha. Were you 24 still, Trey, when y'all got married?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. So y'all 23 or 24. Tish was 22 when y'all got married. Young, 5 months into marriage. A lot of people in this world like desire to get married young, but some have a challenge with it as a result of like the people in their lives, friends, family members. And so my question for you guys is, when you guys decided, hey, like we want to get married young, and you told some people, did y'all get any of those like negative reactions? If you did, from who? And then how did that affect you?
Yeah, we did. We did get negative reactions. The day of the proposal,
okay,
my dad had a negative reaction to it, but I was confused because I know Trey talked to him before, so he had a very negative reaction about it. But I was at the point where I'm like, I don't care who's on board. I'm going through it regardless.
Yeah.
Yeah. For you, did you?
Yeah, I had like a few friends that was definitely just like, you sure you ready type of thing. It's like, what's that song by Outkast?
Like,
The song they just be like, they talk about me, like the guy getting married.
I choose you, Outcast and UGK.
Yeah. That's kind of how it was. Like, you sure you want to get married type of thing. So
Got it. And so with Trey, you hearing from your friends, hey, are you sure you want to get married? Tish, your pop's like, hey, like I'm not really on board for this.
Yeah.
What caused you guys to say, hey, forget what y'all talking about. We're going to move forward with this commitment?
I think for me, it's just already having that mentality of not caring what people say for real. But yeah.
So in preparation, while we was in preparation, we was really like watching videos, studying. What really helped me out in my transformation as I continue to progress even today was watching Transformation Church. It was this series called Relationship Goals. And then he broke it down from single season all the way up to marriage on different things that you can take, or just how to grow and how to get there. And then also checking out Ashley and Carrington's channel. Once we found out about you all, watching and asking questions, and even coming to a couples conference, like, it really helped me to wake up and see the different person that I wanted to be.
But also, I prayed about this, so I already knew. That's why I'm like, regardless of whatever y'all say, it's whatever. I asked God for information, send me signs. Like, if he's not the one, let me get out fast, because I'm not trying to waste my time. But yeah, I prayed about it. So
you prayed, got your confirmation. Trey was like, no, I got clarity, got understanding. This is what I want, this is what I desire. 5 months into marriage, have you guys had anybody like come out to you like, hey, I'm really not on board for this, really not supporting this?
No, we actually haven't. We've had,
Okay, boom. So you really haven't had it. Got it. So let me ask you this. So with all the people out here that are interested in getting dating young, but have that concern, have that fear about doing it as opposed to, hey, like, who might say something? What advice, like, if both of you guys had to give one piece of advice for young people out here, seriously dating, wanting to get engaged, wanting to get married at 22, 23, 24, even 21, what would be that one piece of advice that you would give them about going forward with that?
For me, it's always premarital counseling. I feel like that's such a blessing. And also individual counseling as well, because we have so much baggage and trauma that we come with before getting into that. You don't want to bring all that in your marriage. But yeah, for me, it's premarital counseling. Find a good counselor. Carrington is the best counselor, but you can find you a counselor that will talk about those uncomfortable conversations. Just being, having the transparency and honesty in your marriages. You know what I'm saying?
For me, it's truly looking at the bigger picture, because people often don't look at the bigger thing, like looking at your life and just realizing that, eventually we live to die, basically. And so a lot of people be like, live, while you young, live out your life. But it's like, why not start your life with your partner and grow and learn and grow together, and then start to build a family? Like, because really what life is we duplicating other humans. So it's like, why not start young, type of thing.
100. Love it. I love it. So one more question for you guys, and then we'll transition out. Married 5 months now. All right, you guys went through premarital, y'all dated, went through engagement, said the I do's twice, right? Which is something interesting. Matter of fact, let's touch on that real quick. Then we get to this last question. So y'all got married twice, right?
Yeah.
Like, why did we get married twice, y'all? Like, tell me about that.
Man, it was a whole process.
Right.
It was a whole process, really.
Right.
You want to break
so originally, the plan was to go to Paris and get married, Paris, France. But we technically couldn't get married there because we weren't citizens or residents or whatever. So we had to do the official ceremony here and then do the symbolic ceremony. But we didn't end up going to Paris because of COVID and it was just too much. So we did Dallas. We eloped in Dallas, and I was actually fine with it. I feel like I like the intimate, just us two and nice. And Carrington. But yeah, we did that, and then we had our ceremony, another ceremony and a reception in Memphis, Tennessee, because that's where I'm from. So yeah, that's how it came about.
And yeah, that's it.
I thought you were about to say something.
I forgot what I was gonna say because I was listening to you.
I thought he was gonna drop a nugget. And so, what was the primary inspiration of saying, "Hey, let us elope. Like, let us get like forget the family, forget the friends. Like, let's just go do this thing."
So it was really gonna be like a surprise. So
Okay.
Paris was supposed to be like close family and
Only.
friends. And we kind of got this idea from a YouTube couple, wasn't it?
The Millers, yeah.
The Millers on YouTube. They had actually did this. And so we kind of bit off them, and we was gonna do like a small intimate marriage in Paris and then come back and do like a reception. But at the reception, the guest was gonna think we was getting married. But because we didn't go to Paris, that's how it all worked out.
But the real reason that we went ahead and eloped was because we were living together. And that temptation and all of that comes with that, we just decided to go ahead and do it.
Well, zero problems with that. Look, I understand that. So before I give y'all the last real question, would y'all mind taking a second and telling the people where they can find you guys online?
Yes, I am on Instagram at martisha.christak.
And I am on Instagram at I am Christak. And the way you spell our last name is CHRYSTAK.
Also, we have our YouTube channel at Tish and Trey, and we're on TikTok now. Like after the wedding, blowing up. So it's at the Christaks.
Love it, love it, love it. So we'll be sure to put that in the description box so people can come follow y'all, support y'all mission, everything y'all doing. So here's the last question I have for you guys. With being married 5 months, over these past 5 months, what is the greatest lesson that you've learned?
Being selfless. That is like putting what I want to the side sometimes and doing what he asked me to do. And I think that's vice versa, because he gets sick of me asking for ice, because I love ice. And I ask in the most, like the times where he's like relaxing. So it's like, can you get up and go do this for me? But yeah, just, it's hard. Like to not be selfish and think about yourself first, like die to self every day. It's so hard. But
mine is the same, but it's also being patient. Like, because with me, us, and like we two different people. So I have to understand that what I desire and what I kind of want to do, like if I ask her to do something and she don't really do it at that time, like I have to be patient with her in order for us to get things done. So.
Yeah. Also just realizing we don't think alike. So some things, we just don't think alike on a lot of different situations, But compromising. And that's what I would say.
Being selfless, being patient, compromising. What were you about to say, Trey?
Being understanding.
Okay, boom, being understanding. I love it. I love it. Well, awesome, you guys. So thank you guys so much for being a part of this interview. I know 100% that you guys' story, the wisdom, knowledge, information that you expressed on today is definitely going to serve people. And for y'all beautiful people, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Dating with Purpose. We appreciate you showing up and grateful for how this conversation is going to serve you. Y'all have a phenomenal day. Peace out.